There comes a point in every man's life where he feels like he's missing something. You've worked hard, you've built your career, maybe you've even stacked some money, but when you sit down at night in the quiet of your room, you feel that emptiness. You wonder, why is it so hard to connect with women? Why do you always feel like you're guessing what they want instead of knowing? Listen, women are not as complicated as the world makes them seem. They're human. They have desires, urges, and emotions just like you do. But here's the truth nobody tells you. Women rarely say it out loud. They don't walk up and announce, "I'm turned on." Instead, they communicate it through their actions, their energy, and subtle signals that most men miss. If you've ever felt confused, thinking she's into you one moment, then cold the next, it's not because she's playing games. It's because you never learned to read her language. And today, I want to open your eyes. Because when you understand the 5 things women do when they're HORNY, you'll not only stop second guessing, you'll begin to see women for who they really are: vulnerable, desiring, and craving a man who can meet them emotionally, not just physically. So let's break it down. One of the most overlooked signs that a woman is aroused is the shift in her energy. And I'm not just talking about her smile or the way she flips her hair. I mean the unspoken vibration she carries around you. Think about it. Every human being has an energy field. You've probably walked into a room before and immediately felt whether the atmosphere was tense or warm without anyone saying a word. Women operate the same way. When she's turned on, her entire aura changes. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice it. It usually starts subtle. The way she laughs at your jokes suddenly feels softer, more intentional. She doesn't just laugh at you. She laughs with you. Her eyes linger just a little longer on yours, holding that gaze past the point of normal politeness. It's as if her soul is daring you to notice her without her having to announce it. Her energy becomes magnetic. She might lean in closer when you speak, even though she could hear you perfectly well from a distance. She may start mirroring your movements, crossing her legs when you do, tilting her head when you tilt yours. These aren't coincidences. They're subtle invitations, subconscious signals that say, "I'm here with you, I feel you, and I want you to feel me back." But here's the tragedy. Most men miss it. They're too distracted by their own nerves, their own overthinking, or worse, they're too busy trying to impress her with words, while ignoring the truth her body is screaming. And when you miss that shift in energy, she feels unseen. She feels like her openness is wasted. And once a woman feels unseen, she closes up. High-value men don't let that happen. They pay attention. They understand that when a woman's energy shifts, it's not just about sex. It's about connection. It's her way of signaling trust. Her way of saying, "I'm letting my guard down. I feel safe enough with you to let my desire show." And the way you respond matters. If you rush it, you break the spell. But if you lean in, not physically, but emotionally, by being present, grounded, and aware, you deepen the bond. That's when she feels drawn to you, not just for a night, but for something bigger. Because energy never lies. If there's one thing women rarely do by accident, it's touch a man. Touch carries weight. It carries intent. And when a woman is aroused, her touches shift from casual to purposeful, even when she disguises them as playful or innocent. At first, it might be a light brush of her hand across your arm as she laughs. Maybe she leans against you for just a second longer than necessary, or she taps your shoulder when she could have easily just spoken your name. These little gestures may seem harmless, but they're not. They're her way of breaking the invisible barrier between you and her. Think about it. Touch is intimate. We don't just touch people we don't trust. So when a woman initiates touch, even in small, fleeting ways, it's a signal. She's saying, "I feel safe with you. I want to be closer." And here's where most men fail. They brush it off. They assume it means nothing. Or worse, they misinterpret it as a green light to immediately escalate. But the truth is, subtle touches are tests. They're checkpoints. She's measuring your awareness, your composure, and your ability to read her without rushing her. When her arousal deepens, those touches become bolder. She might hold onto your arm a little tighter when walking together. She may play with your fingers absent-mindedly, or she'll let her knee touch yours and won't move away. Each gesture is deliberate, even if she pretends it isn't. This is where high-value men separate themselves. The average man either ignores it or tries to pounce. The high-value man, he acknowledges it without breaking the moment. He allows the touch, he stays present, and he creates an atmosphere where she feels in control of her vulnerability. That's when the touches multiply. That's when she leans in further. That's when her body begins to do the talking her words won't. Because here's the reality: women express desire physically long before they verbalize it. If you can recognize the difference between casual touch and intentional touch, you unlock a new level of connection. You stop guessing, you stop doubting, and you begin to see that her body is telling you the truth her lips may never dare to say. Touch is never just touch. When a woman is aroused, it's an invitation to slow down, to notice, and to prove you're the kind of man who doesn't just take, but understands. There's a reason why people say, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. A woman's voice is one of the clearest indicators of her desire. And if you pay attention, you'll notice that it transforms when she's aroused. When a woman is in that state, her tone changes. It softens, it slows down. Sometimes it even drops lower, almost as if she's whispering secrets meant only for you. She may laugh differently, more breathy, more vulnerable, less guarded. These shifts aren't random, they're signals. Her body is channeling her attraction through her voice because words alone often feel too revealing. Think about the questions she asks you in those moments. They're not the shallow, surface-level things like, what do you do for work? Or, how's your day? Instead, she digs deeper. What are you passionate about? When was the last time you were really happy? What's your biggest fear? These aren't casual curiosities. They are her way of drawing you closer, of creating intimacy without saying, I want you. And here's the thing most men never realize when a woman is turned on. Her voice doesn't just change. It becomes more intentional. She might stretch out her words, linger on your name, or repeat certain phrases just to keep the conversation alive. She's not stalling, she's savoring the moment. But here's the catch: if you're too distracted, too focused on thinking of your next line, you'll miss it. You'll miss the way her voice lowers when she asks you a question. You'll miss the pauses she places between her sentences, inviting you to lean in closer. And if you miss it, she feels rejected, even if you never meant to. High-value men listen differently. They don't just hear words, they hear the emotion behind the words. They notice when her tone softens. They pick up on the hidden vulnerability in her voice. And instead of rushing, they respond with presence. They slow down too. They let silence do some of the talking, because in that silence, intimacy grows. Arousal isn't always loud or obvious. Sometimes it hides in the quiet tone of her voice, in the questions she chooses, in the way she says your name. And if you can hear it, really hear it, you'll unlock a connection that goes far beyond physical attraction. Because a woman's voice always tells the truth. If there is one language that never deceives, it's body language. Words can be rehearsed, voices can be controlled, but the body always tells the truth. And when a woman is aroused, her body starts speaking louder than her lips ever will. Watch closely. She leans in, not because she can't hear you, but because she wants to be closer. Her eyes wander to your lips when you speak, then dart away the moment you notice. She fidgets with her hair, tucks it behind her ear, or plays with her necklace, not out of nervous habit, but as a subconscious display of femininity. Her body is sending you signals long before her words ever confirm it. One of the strongest signs: the way she positions herself. If she angles her knees or feet toward you, even in a crowded space, she's choosing you. If she mirrors your movements, sipping when you sip, leaning when you lean, it's her body saying, I'm in sync with you. And when she exposes her neck, plays with her collar, or adjusts her clothing, she's unconsciously making herself more vulnerable. Because arousal is tied to openness. The tragedy is that most men are blind to this. They're so focused on what to say next, they miss the truth unfolding right in front of them. And when a man misses these signals, the woman feels unseen. She was opening a door with her body, and he walked right past it. But high-value men, they notice. Not in a creepy, overanalyzing way, but with presence. They don't jump the moment they see her bite her lip. They don't rush just because she brushed her leg against theirs. Instead, they hold space. They acknowledge without breaking the magic. And in that stillness, her comfort grows, her body language becomes bolder, and the intimacy deepens naturally. Here's the secret: a woman's body rarely lies. If her words say, "I'm not sure," but her body is leaning in, locking eyes, and seeking closeness, believe the body. But if her words say yes, while her body pulls away, arms crossed, eyes darting, believe the body. Because in moments of desire, the body speaks with honesty the mouth cannot bear to confess. And the man who learns to read it, not exploit it, but honor it, becomes the man she trusts with not just her body, but her heart. One of the clearest signs that a woman is aroused and ready to let the walls come down is when she creates opportunities to be alone with you. And notice I said creates, not coincidentally stumbles into, because most of the time it isn't random, it's intentional. She'll suggest moving to a quieter space, even if the music in the background isn't that loud. She'll linger behind when the group decides to head out, giving you both an unspoken moment together. She might say, "Walk me to my car," or "Let's just step outside for a second." On the surface, these sound like small, harmless requests, but underneath they're loaded with meaning. It's her way of saying, "I want privacy with you. I want space where I can be myself, without an audience." Why does she do this? Because desire doesn't thrive in the crowd. It thrives in intimacy. When a woman is aroused, she often craves a bubble where her energy with you can expand. Without interruptions, without judgmental eyes, without distractions. That alone time isn't just about physical closeness. It's about creating an emotional container where vulnerability feels safe. And here's where men often misstep. Some ignore it, treating it as casual coincidence. Others rush in, assuming that privacy equals permission. Both are wrong. A high-value man recognizes the weight of the moment. He understands that the simple act of her choosing to be alone with him is already a deep signal of trust. It's not just her body saying, "I want you." It's her heart whispering, "I feel safe enough to let this energy grow." What she's looking for in that space is confirmation that you see her, that you value